Poptopia. Everyone knows about Poptopia. It's been a couple of weeks since its release, and the verdict is in that it's one of the best Pokemon games out there. With it having gameplay reminiscent of Animal Crossing and Minecraft, but all in a nice Ditto shaped package, it's no surprise that everyone would want to play it. There's been clamor for more physical copies of it, with there even being a shortage. But the one thing most gamers outside of Nintendo would ask themselves is, should I buy a Nintendo Switch 2? It's a bit pricey at roughly 450 USD or around 30,000 Philippine pesos. But let's break down why you wouldn't want to buy one. Let's be real, the biggest issue blocking players from playing Pocopia is it being a Nintendo title. Specifically, one that can only be played on the Nintendo Switch 2. Sure, you could play with friends and even share your games with GameShare with the Switch 2, but it would still need them to have a Nintendo Switch 1 at the minimum. The biggest draw to even having a Nintendo console in general is being able to play Nintendo exclusive titles, like games under the Pokemon banner, Mario games including the upcoming Switch 2 exclusive after Odyssey, Legend of Zelda titles like Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing, and most titles found inside Smash Bros. Nintendo has their grip on the console market and it shows. With the Nintendo exclusivity also comes the Nintendo premium price with games costing roughly 70 to 80 USD for their flagship and standard titles regardless if they're physical or digital. If you're willing to buy them secondhand though, you could get them cheaper. One advantage of going for a Nintendo Switch 2 as a console is that you could play it either as a handheld or as a docked console. Think about it. It'd be difficult to lug around a PlayStation or an Xbox or even a laptop everywhere, but with how compact the console is, you could whip it out during traffic jams, office breaks, or lunch breaks in general. Playing an RPG at home, for instance like the grindier JRPG ones, is a chore, especially if you're just fighting mobs over and over again. But being able to do it when you're bored is a blessing. Graphics also look great considering it's a mobile device, and while not every game is a AAA title, the indie games and non-Nintendo titles found on the console look amazing. Like, who would have thought it'd get the Final Fantasy VII Remake or Elden Ring? But not only was it a welcome surprise, it even plays well too. Let's say you've decided to buy a Switch 2 now for one game and are a little light on cash. One nice thing about the Nintendo ecosystem is that it has its own eShop with somewhat affordable games ranging from obscure to surprisingly fun. While it may not get Genshin Impact like it was promised years ago, it has a plethora of live service games and cheaper indie game alternatives that hit just right. Silksong or Balatro, for example, are widely acclaimed indie titles that are on the more affordable spectrum with regards to Switch gaming. If you jump through a few hoops and suddenly go to a different region, I heard you could get games even cheaper. There are even some live service games that only need you to have an internet connection and titles like Fortnite, Warframe, Overwatch, and Apex Legends. For the RPG fans out there, there's Guardian Tales. There are loads of free games that could be played and even seasonal releases with the times right, making a Switch 2 more practical that way. You have a Switch 2 and you're not in the mood to play games. What else could you do with it? You could watch videos on it, treating the console more like a tablet than a gaming device. Got a long flight but the movie's a bit off? Just watch your own. Waiting in a cafe for your friends? Boot up Crunchyroll and catch the latest anime episodes, or watch something fun on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, you could use the Switch 2 as a content device, uploading albums and replays to your social media on the fly. With its transition to micro SD cards, you could even do PC transfers even faster for more editing. Let's bring things down a bit. You could use the Switch 2 for exercise with some of its titles like Switch Fitness Boxing or Ring Fit Adventure. But the real fun in having a Switch 2 is being the cool uncle or aunt in a family gathering, letting your nephews or nieces play Mario Kart with you. The Switch 2 is a premium console, but looking at the track record of Nintendo, there's bound to be a light version, pro version, or maybe even a better lit version down the line if you're willing to wait. The price is still on the higher end, and if you really just want to play Nintendo-like titles, just look for alternatives. As a standalone console though, the Switch 2 is a good purchase as long as you'd actually play it. It does get pricey with needing Nintendo Switch Online for online multiplayer at times, but if you really love the games and aren't just doing it for FOMO or fear of missing out, Then heal that inner child and swipe that credit card. Is it a must buy? No. Is it a fun one though? Yes. For more content like this and other updates down the line, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.